Water is the most valuable resource in the world today. 70% of the Earth is covered by water, but only 2% of that is fresh water. Although the UAE is mostly a desert country with little rainfall, it is one of the highest water users in the world. Each person uses an average daily amount of 400 to 550 litres, compared to the world average of 170 to 300 litres. Middle Eastern countries have little fresh water and depend almost totally on the desalination of seawater. Desalination is the method that removes salt and other minerals from seawater so that it can be used for drinking or irrigation. There are over 15,000 desalination plants around the world, and the biggest are generally in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The first desalination plant was built in Abu Dhabi in the 1960s by a Scottish engineering company. Since then, about 80% of all drinking water in the UAE is produced from seawater using desalination methods. The most common method of desalination is reverse osmosis, which uses pressure to take out the salt. However, this method has some disadvantages. It uses a lot of power and creates high carbon emissions. So, unfortunately, it contributes to global warming. It also causes environmental damage by increasing salt levels in the sea. This can destroy marine life. And finally, it is expensive. Another method involves heat evaporation, but this method uses up to 5 times more power than reverse osmosis. However, there are some desalination plants in the UAE which run on solar power. This method is much cheaper to operate and doesn't produce carbon emissions, so it's much cleaner. The result is water that is cheaper to buy and better for the environment. The rising population in the UAE means that the demand for water is increasing all the time. It is thought that the demand for water in Abu Dhabi will increase to about 5,000 million litres per day by 2030. Today, people are encouraged to use water more efficiently at home, school, and in business. Scientists and engineers are working to create more efficient water systems and water-saving devices that will help conserve water supplies. Working towards a sustainable water supply is the challenge facing the UAE now and in the future.